of months ago, when I spoke with my 86-year-old mother, I call her every single day because she lives on the East Coast, I live on the West Coast. She told me that she fell and scraped her knee and that she was fine. However, the whole phone conversation was a little weird, like she wasn't present, like she was somewhere else, and she had a hard time finding words. It felt like she wasn't herself. So when I spoke with her over the course of several days after that call, she still sounded weird, not present. So when I spoke with my sister, she told me that she had already taken her to urgent care and everything seemed fine. And so we waited another day or so and she was still in her weird state. So the course of action my sister and I decided to do was to take her to emergency room just in case something was serious. And it turned out that my mom had a mini stroke. And now she's doing so well. The doctor says that she is recovered so miraculously well and she's back to the way she was. I mean, after all, she is 86. And that's really a testament to my mom's health her whole life. You know, she's never been to see really a doctor. She's never had surgery or anything like that. So this was really her first incident that she ever had her whole life. And so during this whole process, during this whole situation over a course of like 5 or 6 days, there was this flyer that was sitting outside the front door of my house. And I didn't pay attention to this flyer. I only picked it up after I found out my mother had a mini stroke. And when I read this flyer, it says urgent care, I had an enlightening moment. I realized that God, my spirit guides, and this universe were sending me powerful messages to have my mother go to the emergency room, that something was serious. Because mini strokes, even though they're not full strokes, is a serious condition that must be taken care of before it becomes really bad. So the reason why I believe that the spiritual realm, our spirit guides, God in this universe, are always communicating with us and sending us messages is because I always say, and now I'm sounding like a broken record, that we're spirits in this body. So when our body dies, our spirits live on forever. So one of my spirit guides is like my sister's son, and she's always communicating with me and giving me messages about my life and what to do and how to guide my life in a more positive direction. And so it is our job to listen to those messages really carefully, to pay attention to life, to listen. That's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth to be better listeners than speakers. Because when we listen carefully, we're receiving that message and we're moving our lives in a positive direction. So for me, I believe that my spirit guides, God and universe, are communicating with me, sending me messages in 2 different ways. And the first way is when the universe make things happen for you very easily, effortlessly, flawlessly, like events in your life are just happening without any effort, like you're in the flow. And so for example, about 10 years ago, I decided to make a move from the East Coast to West Coast. And I'm telling you, I swear to God, within 3 days, I got a job and a furnished apartment with no interview, no job hunting, no apartment hunting. I swear, I got it within 3 days. It just happened like that. So when things happen so easily, so flawlessly, so effortlessly like that, the universe is giving you a powerful message to go for it, to go for it. And so I really felt that it was like the biggest sign, the biggest message to make the move, because you know, when I initially decided to make the move, I had second thoughts because I knew my mom was upset about it. She didn't want me to move because I'm the youngest of her 6 children, so I'm like her baby daughter. So she didn't want me to move. So when I got the job and the furnished apartment within a few days, I said, this is a sign that I should move and come to the West Coast. So that's the first way. So the second way that I believe our spirit guides are sending us powerful messages are through physical objects and signs, like this flyer. And some of the other common physical objects are like butterflies, feathers, coins, a lamp flickering, You know, I believe that those are all presence of spirit guides. Also numbers, numerology. You know, numerology really tells us our life's path, our soul's path. And so even like butterflies represent the growth of our spirit. You know how a butterfly goes from a caterpillar to a cocoon and then to a butterfly, represent our spiritual growth. And our spirit guides can even send us messages through our electronic devices, like even our iPhone. And so I have this mobile app by the angel lady, Doreen Virtue. And many of you may follow her. I subscribe to her YouTube. And she has this calendar with daily messages from angels. And one day I read this message and it said, "A prayer for today. Dear God and angels, please send me a clear sign in the physical world that I will easily notice and understand." So after I read this message, I closed my eyes and did a little silent prayer to my spirit guides. I asked them, please send me a physical message today that you are with me, that you are here. And so as I was walking to my supermarket, all of a sudden I saw this butterfly. Remember I said that butterflies really represent the presence of spirit guides? And this butterfly kept on following me around, like circling me around. And then it landed on a flower. And I said, okay, that's nice. All of a sudden I got excited that it was maybe my spirit guide. But then as I was walking away, I thought, you know what? No, it's just a butterfly on a flower. And so as I was coming back from the supermarket, I did another little prayer. I said to myself, spirit guide, if it is you, then please be present at the same flower. Please be present at the same flower. So literally like 20 minutes later, when I was walking back from the supermarket, I literally saw the butterfly on the same flower. And I really thought that that was a confirmation of the presence of my spirit guides. And so this is one of the physical ways that they show up. Another example of my spirit guides sending me messages through physical objects and physical sign is when I first adopted and rescued my dog Happy. You know, I thought I was adopting a really calm dog, but when I brought him home, I realized that he was very aggressive. He was aggressive towards people. And so for the first 2 weeks, I was really stressed and I was thinking about returning him back to the shelter. But what stopped me was a sign that I saw on this one block. And I walk that block all the time because I walk my dog a lot. And I saw this sign only once. And that day it said, save a life, because I was really contemplating returning Happy to the shelter, but it said save a life. And that was the main reason why I kept Happy, because I felt that my spirit guides were telling me to be patient and to keep Happy. Now we love him so much. So a third example I have is a few years ago, I was negotiating a contract with somebody, an agreement with somebody, and we negotiated for a full month. It kept going back and forth. And there was one clause, one provision in the agreement that I could not compromise on, that it was a deal breaker. But we negotiated, and I thought we negotiated in good faith. And so when I saw my final contract, that clause was still in there. It was not changed. It did not reflect what I had asked for, what I had requested. And because it was a real deal breaker for me. And all of a sudden, all of my red flags went up, like the person wasn't trustworthy. I mean, it could have been a simple mistake, but all the other changes were made except this one provision. And so I was really thinking hard about whether I was actually going to sign this agreement after a 1 month negotiation. And when I had asked the person about why the change had not been made, he acted like it was a simple mistake, but there were so many red flags because all the other changes were made. So that day, I went to my local Thai restaurant, and after the meal, they give out fortune cookies. And I opened my fortune that day, and it said, character never changes. character never changes. And all of a sudden, I felt like I had my answer to this issue of whether I was going to sign this contract. Because somebody who's not trustworthy will never be trustworthy, because character never changes. And so I really felt like my spirit guides were giving me this message to protect me from doing business with this person. And so what I really try to do in life is to be a good listener, to really pay attention to life, to receive those messages from my spirit guides, from God in this universe, because I know that those messages are answers to my life, answers to your life, and to this universe, frankly. So please pay attention, be a good listener to your spirit guides so we can all live our best life. And if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I want to let you know that I'm selling my Yin and Yang Living Positive Message t-shirts. This one says soul. I have others that says love, hope, joy, and they're being sold on Etsy. The link is below. And by buying them and wearing them, you're not only supporting me to operate Yin and Yang Living, but you're also helping to spread positive messages around the world. So please get one for yourself, your family member, or a friend. And if you want to visit all of my holistic living tips, just go to my website at yinandyangliving.com. 고맙습니다.